Hello and welcome to another episode of Full Warning, a Team Series podcast. My name is Rajah James.
And I'm BC Druid.
Joining us today is Mr. Duane Haddix. Hello, Duane.
What is up, my dudes?
What is going on today with you?
Just getting ready for the holiday weekend, feeling good, hanging out with my boys.
Are you blowing stuff up? We're talking about the 4th of July here, so yeah, what are your plans?
I'm gonna go hang out on the west side of the state, visit my buddy I haven't seen in a while, hang out with him and his wife and his kids. We'll probably go float around on a creek or a lake or something.
Now, when we say west side of the state, you are not an Ohioan. You are a Michigander. So
yes,
you're going away from Ohio. That's the wrong way.
Yes,
it's going to the cool side of Michigan.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So there's lake and whatnot. Angelo, what do you got going on for the 4th of July weekend coming up here?
Kids in the parade, so I got to watch that.
Nice.
Some fireworks at the park, and then I'm getting ready to go out of the country for a little while.
Wait, what does she play in the marching band?
She's not. She's doing Girl Scouts.
Oh, I'm like, wait, I know. Yeah, okay, but what is the instrument that the violin player normally plays? A saxophone or what is the crossover for that?
Well, whatever they want. I mean, there's no good crossover really.
There's no good. I know when I played string bass, and they're like, you're gonna learn tuba. I was like, okay, that makes sense. I guess it's both the same clef, right? The bass clef. So I didn't know if there was a standard kind of crossover for violinists or violists or something.
No, she's not super into the band stuff, anyways.
Fair. Well, you were talking about you doing marching band, doing some drill.
Yeah, that's me. Writing. I'll be writing tomorrow afternoon too.
Right on. Cool. So, full warning, episode 10. We are here to talk about The Land 6. We just wrapped it up, and we welcome Duane today because, spoiler alert, Duane was the champion of the Vintage of The Land. So the main event of The Land.
Which I just learned 5 minutes ago. So it is.
And to be clear, Angelo was physically in attendance at The Land and played in the Vintage event.
I also played in the event, yeah.
That's just the spirit of the land right there, man.
I clearly misplayed by not asking Duane for his deck list beforehand like I did last year when I made top 8. So
is that how you made top 8 last year? By saying, Duane, what are you playing? And then just Xerox, copy, cut, paste.
Well, what I did last year was I asked Duane what he was playing, copied the list letter for letter, showed it to Jimmy, watched him get really upset and suggest a lot of changes, make exactly none of those changes.
And then you made top 8 and Jimmy didn't. Jimmy made all those changes.
Now, for the record, Steven did make most of the changes that Jimmy was suggesting, just not at Jimmy's behest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And he also was in the top 8 with you guys.
He also top 8, yeah.
So semis, I think.
So, well, Duane, you were on in episode 6, as I was referring to earlier, because you were the runner-up to Eric at the last land, right? So you are no stranger to top 8, to the finals at the land. You've been doing this.
I have a question for later in the podcast that we could just table. But
okay.
When Eric won, it was on the back of Blood Moon, correct?
Yes, I got Blood Mooned out.
Well, so my question is, with the new Saga rulings, would Eric's deck still have had the mojo it needed to get to the top? Because wasn't that a 4 Urza Saga environment too? We could talk about that later.
Yeah.
That's an interesting topic. Yeah, we should talk about it.
We'll talk about that. I think I'm going to try one of these soundboards. So Duane, I have all these clips for those listening at home. Basically, every time I'm doing editing of an episode, sometimes I'll come across a phrase or a couple words from someone that catch my ear that sound like a good sound bite. Like if I was doing a sound bite of the episode and I was going to teaser the episode, like these are sound bites maybe that I might use, right? So this is something you said last time that I was like, yeah, that really resonates with
Cut
me.
any of the dumb I talk about if you need to cut time. I don't care.
It's my motto of life. I'm a team lead at work, and sometimes I swear our meetings would be done 15 minutes quicker if I could shut that.
I was thinking when I was going through these clips, I thought that this clip really encapsulates your magic philosophy. Comment, if you will.
Random cards that cost colored mana, useless to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For the last 4 years, there's been a legit argument that one of the best archetypes in Vintage is Jewel. If you look at it from a heuristic perspective, it's something I should love. It plays workshops, it plays combo cards, it plays a bunch of draw in it, it's got all of these cool artifacts, but it also plays enough blue cards to support Force of Will, so it's just an instant ejector seat for me. My pencils remain unmoved.
Bail out, eject.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a complete philosophy. I will not play. No matter how good it is, I will not play Time Walk and Ancestral Recall. I won't do it.
All right. Well, we commend you for your dedication, and it has paid off for you over the years. Though people kind of can maybe read your deck a little bit or read your deck choice a little bit. Maybe you're a little predictable in that, but like there's different workshop decks. Like there's different colorless decks that you could be playing.
Doesn't seem to be hurting the man.
Well, exactly.
I mean, I'm very open about it. I have a $400 playmat that I bought from Greg Fenton. It has a giant picture of Mishra's Workshop on it. And I roll with the champs every year with that. So it's never been easy to my opponents that I'm going to play in workshops.
Do you think that if someone didn't know you, they might be thinking like you're trying to psych them out? Like you're like, I'm going to have this workshop playmat. I got Luris. Here's my companion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I've had it for at least 10 years. I bought it at the first NYSE. I don't know if it's bad manners or not, but I also have a big stack of tokens. So, chance I've been known to roll out my Mishra's Workshop playmat and then take my big fat stack of tokens and set it face up next to me at the table with both of Druid's tokens facing up.
So you're prepared. And maybe if they read that the wrong way, then that's on them. I don't know what this soundbite is. I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to move on for now. I don't know. This is really making you work for it. I feel like this is probably just you saying really making you work for it. Let's see.
Sorry, I'm really making you work for it with editing here. All right.
This was, I believe this was you got flustered at some point and you were trying to explain something and then you were just like really making you work for it with the editing. I feel like I edited that episode well. I'll have to go back and listen to it.
So you did work for it. The product turned out great because I know Catman I just did it forever. So turning that into a listenable product is really, really a lauded achievement.
Well, very good. Okay, so we learned about your magic journey and such last time you were on the show. And so we went through some of the clips that we made from the show last time. So what I want to talk about right now, before we jump into the land, is I want to talk about the recent Vintage banned and restricted announcement.
Sure.
It's boo. Okay, so Angelo, so June 30th was the most recent banned and restricted announcement for Vintage. The banned and restricted announcement for Vintage is no changes. So we're going to start with you, Angelo, because you were saying boo. So start with, I guess, your initial reaction and then talk to us a little bit about what you wanted to see or what you thought, what you were expecting.
On South Park, when there's that towel
Yeah.
His name's Towlie.
Yes.
And he finds himself in these situations, and then he's like, "I don't know what's going on."
Yeah.
Yes.
So when it comes to playing vintage, that's me.
That's you. Okay, that's you.
And so when a banned and restricted announcement comes down, it gives me some guidance as to what to play. Like, everybody's all mad about this, so I should play this. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
No banned or restricted announcement, I still don't know what's going on.
Okay. Okay. So this is your guide, but you use it as a signpost of
Yeah,
what
well,
you
and
should
so-
feel or
Yeah,
what you
so-
should like. Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay, so let me bring it all home for you guys, because even as a non-invested vintage player, like, I play vintage, I have fun, but I don't like care. I read the announcement and I was like, they have no idea what's going on with vintage right now, do they?
You don't even play vintage on a regular basis, but you know you're in tune enough with what we've been talking about, with what the folks have been talking about
I
leading
played
up to
more
this
vintage
hazards.
matches than the guys who made that call this year, obviously. Because there's some stuff that needs to be addressed. Like, every winning deck has a Luris in it. Okay. And then, like, their thing is like, well, mono white initiative is still competitive. No, it's not. I didn't see anybody do well with that. I thought about playing it and I was like, this isn't gonna do well. Yeah, I don't know where they got that from.
Okay, so for you, you expected something to be done about Luris.
I expected something to be done about Luris, and TBH, I expected them to address the Blood Moon change, like the Saga functionality change, and at least, like, mention it and be like, this makes Urza Saga a little powerfuler, but we got it down to a 1 of, so we're just gonna let it go for now. But Saga players,
Interesting.
hopefully you enjoy that bump.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that's the big deal. I think that Blood Moon change is a big deal, or the Saga change is a big deal.
Okay. Interesting. Let's pin that. We're pausing you. So, Duane,
Yeah.
what was your reaction? What did you expect, and what did you want?
I don't know if I was expecting it, but I was fully accepting the fact that something was going to be done with Luris. And I guess by that, I mean the only thing they can do with it is ban it. So I thought there was going to be a real risk that Luris was going to get banned. But after going and playing at the land, I really started to think, because I've been a cat hater for a long time. I don't like playing deck very much. It seemed like it was so broken with such inevitability that it felt like playing old school land still, where you just, even if you won the game, you didn't have a great time doing it. So
they would bury you. Like, it was so long. You saw it like 20 turns away. You saw it coming, but you could hang in there if you wanted to.
Yeah, sometimes you could get there, but you're not going to have a great time doing it. And when you lose, it's just awful the entire time. With Saga, it made it a little bit faster. They had some fast hands where they'd kill you, in 10 minutes instead of 25 minutes. But
right.
In the days when if you sat down and someone revealed a Luris and you knew you were going to go to time, like, that just sucked. But
right.
Now the combo Luris, and I thought that it was going to be a problem because, oh no, now there's Luris and now it just kills you fast and it's really good. It's got a good win rate. But after going to the land and playing, I played against maybe 2 Luris decks. The Luris decks do very well. And that gave me some hope. And then now I started thinking, as the ban and restricted was going to come up, a couple weeks after the land, I was thinking, oh, they might make a mistake by banning Luris, because now it seems like still don't like it, but like it seems like it's reasonable. So then now getting Luris was okay to me. I was really kind of hoping that they were going to unrestrict anything, but with the new card that was spoiled, it's going to be an obvious vintage card. I can understand why they did nothing.
Tezzeret, cruel captain. We're going to pin that. No. I need to have my say about the announcement, though, before we go to Tezzeret, because that's actually one of my main points about the announcement that I disliked, is that I dislike whenever they say we're printing our way out of this, right? I really dislike that because to me, that's very tone deaf. We have a bunch of cards sitting on the restricted list that they could unrestrict at any time. And they can and should start doing that, in my opinion. Tezzeret Cruel Captain seems awesome, and we're going to talk about it. But to me, it is. I think there's a very high likelihood. Like when I read the card, I read it as a restricted card. I was reading it and saying, "How good is this card as a one of in my workshop deck?" And I think to me, like, if I'm automatically looking at a card and saying, how good is this card as a one of in my workshop deck? I think that's cool. But like I said in chat the other day, I feel like we're in a potential Karn situation where we're going to see an emergency ban announcement before champs, and that sucks. But overall, I just want to look and do the SMIP thing here, right? And I just want to look at I want to do a little parsing of what they talked about in the wording.
Mm-hmm.
This was written by Carmen Klomparens. This was written by one person, but it's on behalf of the whole group. The idea that they were considering banning, they say, we had a serious discussion around the possible banning of Luris of the Dream Den for power level reasons. Okay. Mono White Initiative with Clarion Conqueror has its fair share of winning in the last few months, and Mishra's Workshop decks have pivoted towards including copies of Sphere of Resistance. This to me is kind of tone deaf, right? It doesn't. To your point, Angelo, saying Sphere of Resistance battles PO is crazy. In like a weird axis where but like if you have to play that and have threat, right? And that is very difficult in the current state of it. Sure, you can play spheres, play a bunch of spheres, right? It just, you're going to then play lands and Hercules you and win, right? Like that,
yes,
you have to have a threat.
I do want to weigh in here because I think there's a big distinction. I really feel dirty right now because I hate PO and I wanted that card restricted for, I don't know, 10 years. But what I will say is that there's a difference between the Luris PO decks and the Jewel decks. Jewel decks chew up Sphere of Resistance like it's nothing. They're running Ancient Tombs and Mishra's Workshops.
Right, okay, fair, yeah.
So their mana is way lower to the ground, and Sphere of Resistance will actually thumb them up. But yeah, if they wanted to run 4 Hercules, I feel like that doesn't matter for the Sphere player. I don't know if they're doing that either. Like, is that... There's a measure of respect that I feel like
you're like, yes, do that. Run those 4 Hercules.
I mean, they used to. I've played through so much hate in my years as a vintage player. To me, I look at sideboards now and there's not 7 dedicated cards to shops, and it feels disrespectful. So
right. No. And so, okay. So fair. I'll take your feedback on that as firsthand experience to say, okay, fine. If you're talking about Sphere versus Luris PO decks, Luris PO, then that's giving you some play. But to me, that's too narrow, right?
Sure.
So there's not 2 decks, right? It's not Luris versus Mono White and Sphere decks, right? That's not the only decks in the format. So let me just say my expectation was an unrestriction. That's also what I wanted. I do not believe there should have been any bans or restrictions of current cards. I'm glad there was a discussion about Luris, but in the end, I think that decision is correct, as you said, Duane. But I do think we could have unrestricted at least 1 card.
Maybe not Thorn of Amethyst because workshops are in the mix right now, but I don't know. There's
Windfall.
Yeah, you could hit Windfall. I don't know. There was talk of unrestricting Channel, which would be a real monkey wrench, potentially.
That'd be funny.
Again, Channel might be over the top. Don't start with that then. Start with Windfall. Start with Necro.
Oh, yeah, Necro would be a little spicy.
If Doomsday's percentage came up a little bit, then the Lurrus deck has to change a little bit, main deck maybe. That changes kind of the meta, right? And people are arguing to say, oh, well, Doomsday would just play 4 Necros. Okay. Is that a bad thing? I mean, you just get more payoffs for your Dark Ritual. Just means Dark Ritual is more counterable, right? And you put, chalices on 1. But I don't know. Is that horrible? They're draw locked, right? Like, so I don't know.
A Necro? They don't run 1 Necro, do they?
They don't run 1 right now, I don't think.
Yeah. So
yeah. So my expectation was that, and that's also what I wanted. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a reasonable time to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we're printing a new card, and it costs 3 mana, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I don't know if this is the time we're going to start talking about.
Yes, now we're talking about it.
This is a card. It's not quite like I remember where I was when I read the spoiler for Lodestone Golem.
All right, take us back. No, pause there. Take us back, Duane.
I don't remember what year it was. It was 2009.
It doesn't matter. Where were you? What were you doing?
I was in the giant undergraduate computer lab on University of Michigan campus in the back corner, procrastinating working on a report for my philosophy of law class.
Nice.
And I looked at the spoiler because I was procrastinating as hard as I could, and I saw this juggernaut that not only didn't have a negative ability on it, it had an ability that was all upside. I just sat there, and that's the first time I've ever looked at a card and it's like, this card is so strong it's going to warp Vintage.
I mean, at that time, I feel like the power level had not jumped so high. Harken back to 5 minutes ago when I was talking about my first read of Tezzeret Cruel Captain, and I read it as a restricted card. That's what I'm saying. Like, I read it and I'm reading it, and as I'm reading it, I'm thinking, I didn't think of the card as a 4 of in my deck.
Sure.
Like, I am reading it and I'm thinking of the card as a 1 of in my deck.
Oh yeah, this card is going to be getting played in workshop, some workshop decks as a 1 of for a really long time. But I mean, to back up a minute, I'm not saying that this card is on the level of Lodestone Golem. But what I'm saying is I read the card and it gave me a similar feeling of, as I'm reading it, everything that I'm reading, every line that I read, it just seems like it's getting better and better. I think this card's going to be really good.
Let me spoil it. If you are not a regular vintager, Angelo, Tezzeret Cruel Captain.
Oh, I saw this one. Hold on.
Colorless.
No, hold on. Let me tell you.
You want to do it? Okay,
I'm going to tell you what I know. This is the idiot's guide to Tezzeret. It is a colorless sorcery that finds you any artifact that costs 1 or less from your deck.
Yeah. Yep.
Did I get it right?
Yes.
But hold on. There's upside.
Yeah, there is some upsides.
If you're lucky enough to find out what it is, you'll also find out why it's about to get restricted.
That's pretty good. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. So the static ability. So it comes in with 4 loyalty.
Yeah.
3 colorless mana. Legendary Planeswalker Tezzeret. Tezzeret Cruel Captain. The 0 loyalty ability. Well, let me not bury the lead. The static ability, whenever an artifact you control enters, put a loyalty counter on Tezzeret.
Yeah.
Okay. So this line, to me, is the line that may make it played in non-workshop decks. Who knows? But the 0 loyalty ability, untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So you can use this to untap your vault key. This is a combo.
Whoa.
This
Didn't
is a
even think
combo
about that.
with Time Vault. Now, it doesn't fetch Time Vault, so that doesn't help greatly, right? But this is where, again, like I was saying, it's going to get restricted not because, in my opinion, it's not going to get restricted because of workshop decks. It's going to be restricted because blue decks play it.
Well, you can't cast it off workshop, right? Like that's
Correct. And
I have to remind
that was
myself
the
that a
mistake.
lot.
That, in
Yeah.
my opinion, that's the mistake of this card, because when you make a 3 colorless mana planeswalker, anyone can play it, and the best color in Vintage is gonna end up playing this card because it can untap stuff. So you can bounce it with your PO, you can replay it, you can untap, you could tap your Mana Vault, untap, it makes a bunch of mana. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, the untap stuff. I didn't even know that was on there. That's dumb.
The untap is extreme. That is the thing that gives it enough utility to be broad enough to be very good in Vintage. The minus ability, the next ability, that's as Angelo said, if it were a 3 mana sorcery that just did this, it would probably still get played.
It would probably get played in some number. Yeah.
This is a thing that Raker wants so bad, because the best friend to Tezzeret is Sensei's Top, because you can play Tezzeret, you immediately go -3 him, go get a top, you play the top, you bump him up 1, and now every turn, because you can draw top
And replay it, yeah.
you're going to get 2 counters on Tezzeret for the rest of the game. So even if you have no other cards in hand, you're going to be pumping him up and being able to search for more cards, which shuffles your deck, which lets you see more cards with top. So in a vacuum, that's its floor. And that's something that you want to be doing in your workshop deck anyway. Stalemate. That's crazy. And that says nothing of, its untap ability, which doesn't work on top because you can't do it as an instant, but it doesn't matter.
Can't do it as an instant, yeah.
So
So the -3 is, well, I'll read it out, is -3. Search your library for an artifact card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle.
Yeah. That's
are
the
we
big
calling them Tezzeret Topperette?
Well, listen. So the thing is, though, is that we can get a ton of stuff off of this -3 thing. I haven't gone through all the iterations in my brain, but I feel like, again, this is like you're gearing towards a key. You want something to untap. You want a mana vault. You want a cage, or your silver bullets, right? Cage, things like that, right?
You have so much flexibility here. Like Justin Gennari did a video on this, and he goes over, I think, all the options that I would have thought of. And
Okay.
you can go for mana. You can go get a top, which in Raker,
Friend of Team Series,
Anyway.
Justin Gennari, yeah.
Yeah, Justin's great Vintage player, very nice guy.
Great Vintage player, nice guy. We missed him this year at the land. Dan, Justin, come back out. We had a good time. He's already gone through all this. There's a lot that can be done.
Absolutely.
The -7. Let's just hit the last one, and then we'll finish our discussion, which is you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's not a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot artifact creature. So you can play this as your only win con, basically.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I wanted to point out, is basically saying you don't have to play other cards. You can just play this and Saga in your PO deck. And we're going to see it, is what I'm calling that now, because it's 3 colorless mana, right?
Yeah. If people can play that, or I should say that otter is pretty good.
Loot Tree? Are you talking Loot Tree?
Whatever that wizard is.
No,
that
it's
turns-
not the one with
the Thunderclap Trainer. Multiply, whatever that
Which that
mechanic.
card's not that good. That's just the flavor of the month. Come on.
It is, but
If-
yeah.
It is playable in PO. I think Tezzeret is definitely, a higher caliber than
Cruel PO. Cruel.
When I'm just thinking like turn 1 Vault, Tezzeret, Black Lotus, Tinker. I mean, what else do you need to do?
Yeah, it could be extremely good, but as I mentioned earlier, My love for PO is not very high, so if PO gets Tezzeret restricted, I'm going to be really good.
I'm just saying, Duane, I'm sorry to tell you that is what's going to happen. 100% is what's going to happen.
Isn't there an artifact that lets you activate Planeswalker abilities more than once in a turn?
Rings of the Bright Hearth.
Isn't there like a 6-drop? It's from some set, but you can act, or maybe there's like an oath that lets you do it. But if you could do his thing more than once on a turn,
I'm coming from the direction of the Raker deck, and
Okay.
in the Raker deck, activating this once per turn is fine. I've talked to some of the people in the Raker channel in the Discord, and they're talking about place testing it, and they're playing 4 of these because they're broken and you always want one. And they're talking about playing multiple of them in the same turn just to use it again.
Well, the thing is, in the Raker deck, yeah, you're making a lot of colorless, generic, non-workshop mana with those little Eldrazi's.
Who notably are not artifacts, so they don't pump test.
They don't pump him, but that's, we'll figure that out with something. The final estimation from me, I'll say, Tezzeret Cruel Captain, cool card. Will it get emergency restricted before champs? Probably not.
Agreed.
That's my final word on Tezzeret Cruel Captain. It will be restricted, not before champs. What do you say, Duane?
I think that it's going to do unholy things at champs. That's what I think.
What do you think, Angelo?
I don't know what's going on.
Well, and let me put an asterisk on my prediction, which is to say, MTGO loop is so tight now, right?
Yeah.
That's why Bobble got restricted so quickly, right? But
Right.
reminding you that Bobble actually got restricted later in the summer. It happened after KSI, right?
But it wasn't an emergency restriction. It was just
It was the scheduled one, but that's why I thought it was weird that when they made this announcement, that's the last thing I would say about this announcement is that they said there will be no change. The next change is after champs. I think that's insane. I don't think this will be the last change announcement for Vintage.
Okay,
I guess
right.
that's my last take on B&R. I keep saying last take, but this is my final dot back edit 3.7 final opinion.
Let me throw this out there again as a casual Vintage observer. I think where we're at, and this is again not knowing, it's been kind of stale since last year's champs. Bobble came out, everybody got really excited. It did unholy things. They stepped in. They were like, "Yeah, we've gone too far. You can have one of these." Isn't that when they restricted Saga too?
Yeah. Same announcement.
Same announcement.
So they're like, okay, here's your vanilla Vintage, and we're out here playing vanilla Vintage. They're gonna throw this firebomb out there, and it might be like a new thing where they're like, okay, every couple of years, like literally every other year, they're gonna print some dumb card, let it ruin Vintage for that year. You know what I mean? Like it's an expansion for it's a one card expansion.
Right? Because can they then unrestrict a card at the same? Okay, I'll leave that alone. But I just do it. Come on.
Well, but that's the thing. Unrestricting cards, like the thing about Vintage, you restrict the cards, right? And unrestricting them, it's not like you're unbanning something. It's not like you're opening up Splinter Twin again.
Yeah,
it's always been there. It's just been nerfed, you know.
Oh yeah, okay, I guess, yeah, kind of.
So we're not like letting anything new out of the bag by creating 4 ofs.
So what is your final dot back take on Tezzeret Cruel Captain? Will it be restricted? Will it be restricted before champs?
I think the only way they'll restrict it before champs is if the MTGO data pushes it above 60% of decks, like as a 4 of.
Yeah.
So I guess don't be dicks, MTGO players.
You know they will be though. You know they will be. They play online for a reason. Like,
yeah,
they can't get humans to sit down with them.
That's a mark too far. I just played 2 leagues this week, Angelo. Dick. Okay, so I think we're all in agreement. It will be restricted, and we're all saying it will not be restricted before champs. probably.
I didn't say it'll be restricted. I think there probably will be a reason to restrict it after champs, but I think it's going to do unholy things at champs.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying it won't be restricted before champs, but you're saying it's a likely restrictable card in the
Yes.
future.
It's
Like-
going to be restricted.
I don't want to go that far because there are so many cards in Vintage that could be restricted.
Well,
Like
that's
what?
why
Name-
I keep saying unrestrict other cards, right? Instead of restricting this new card, that's fun.
Yeah.
Give people their toys. Then say,
Oh.
okay, but then you also get Windfall or Necro or whatever.
Next to this card, Necro and Windfall don't seem that bad.
That's
Like-
my point, man. That's my point.
Trash compared to Tez. Like, it's absurd.
That's my point. That's my point. All right, gentlemen.
Yes.
Great discussion. Great discussion on our ban restricted list. Very enlightened. I'm glad there was no fisticuffs. I want to move on. I want to talk first. I want to talk about the Land 6 before Vintage stuff. Duane, talk to me about getting there. Did you put any thought into a prize this year?
Oh, so for this year, the land lined up perfectly with Electric Forest, which is a big music festival that's in Northwest Michigan. And a lot of my friend non-magic cohort go to it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
notably, my buddy Kevin Ponish, who's been my magic buddy for over a decade now, he was going to Electric Forest and he was my ride.
Ah.
And so I wasn't going to be able to go with him. And it turned out my girlfriend always goes to I shouldn't say always, but my girlfriend likes to go to Electric Forest, and she was going this year. And so she needed her car to get to the Electric Forest, and Kevin wasn't going. So all of a sudden I was out of wheels because I don't have my own car. So getting to the land was sort of an ordeal because I had no way to get there.
Okay. Okay.
So this story ends up being a little bit lame because one of my other buddies, he's like, "Hey, just borrow my car," and I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna let me borrow your nice, like, brand new, like less than 15,000 miles Subaru to go drive through Ohio?" Like, ugh.
You're like, yeah, I'm going to the East Coast of
So
Of
dangerous
Michigan.
down there. Yeah.
Yeah,
We say the same about Michigan, buddy.
yeah, I'm gonna park my car with next to all these degenerates.
So okay, so you ended up getting some wheels and you were
Yeah.
able to come into town. So what I was asking you about is your prep. And so of course you're gonna play a workshop deck.
So there's a whole odyssey going into this idea of what deck I chose because
Okay.
last year I made it to the finals.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that I was a little bit salty about the way the finals turned out, but it was because I played sloppy and Caffrey
As one sometimes does at midnight.
after drinking all day. So there's no hate on Caffrey. Caffrey was the champion. He played better than me. He won fair and square. He was the champion last time, but I was salty. I had a chip on my shoulder because I feel like if I had played better, I could have won last time.
Like you were in a position to win and you maybe just made some sloppy plays. Then the aggregate impact was that you did not walk away as the champion last time.
Yes, I lost in game 2 of the finals against Caffrey, who played a brilliant metagame choice and piloted his deck very well, and he got me with his Blood Moon, which now doesn't do what...
Doesn't do the thing that it did. Yeah, that's frustrating too, right? Like, all right, so let's pause there, Angelo. We wanted to have a wider discussion about the Blood Moon thing, so let's just pause on that to say, okay, this happened to you last year. You got Blood Mooned. You couldn't activate and make guys with your Urza Saga. But had you gotten Blood Mooned in the same position, was it on 2 counters? Would you have been able to keep making guys?
Well, the issue is that the deck I was playing against, his deck was basically his mono red Moon Man.
Oh, it just kills your thing. That was the problem, right?
Yeah,
So
it would just kill the sagas.
Yeah.
So he's attacking me. He's attacking my workshop combo deck from 2 angles. He's
Right.
got 4 null rods, which turn off all my artifacts.
And land destruction, essentially, in his deck. Right?
He's got 8 moon effects, which turn off my null rod backup plan, which is Urza's Saga.
Right,
So-
and it doesn't only turn it off. The point is, it denies you a mana, right? It's like now you're down a land.
Yes. So it was tough to navigate that matchup because as the combo deck, you're either going to keep a hand that's like, okay, they don't always have no rod, so I can go balls to the wall with my combo, or you can lean back on your backup plan. And it's like,
Right.
okay, what does he have? Or does he have
Right.
just, you're up a creek.
So quick hit then. Does the Blood Moon thing, does it mean that we can play more sagas, or does it just make the one saga better? It doesn't mean we can play more, right? That doesn't change anything.
If we're using the same criteria that got the card restricted, which I disagree with, which is another aspect of the saga of my deck choice, but I will put a cork in my complaints about that. Using the same criteria that got saga restricted, it is not like this makes saga stronger. So there's no excuse for them to unrestrict it now using that same criteria.
Fair. Okay. Fair. Okay. So Angelo, was that basically the point you were wanting to make? Like, this makes it so that they definitely will not unrestrict Saga ever, or what was the point you wanted to make on the Blood Moon thing, or just wanted to get some feedback?
And maybe this is a whole other podcast, or maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but if Wizards wants to impact the format, and if they can make a very normally minuscule or seemingly minuscule rule change where it's with the sagas, where when it loses its land type, if it doesn't have counters on it, whatever, it sticks around, Are there other gray or like corners of the rules that they can fuck with to make certain cards more or less playable that wouldn't affect 99.9%?
Okay, like the Time Vault change or similar to that.
Yeah,
like where,
let's errata a card, because they had zero problems errataing the companions immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those cards
So
don't
like,
do.
and they're still great. I mean, you can take, Time Vault is so far removed from its original text at this point, or like what other cards don't do what they originally said they do?
Oath of Druids has always been the poster child for this. If you have a new person that's like, hey, I'm going to play Proxy Vintage today with my Type 2 deck, and you sit down and you play your Oath of Druids, they're going to read your card, and as soon as they go to read your card, you tell them, you need to pull up Oracle text up.
Yeah, like don't read that card. Yeah, okay. So to your point, Angelo, if they cared about Vintage, because I don't think this change was made with Vintage in mind. I think it was made with Modern in mind.
Back to the point. If this can shake up different decks. Like Eric's deck, for example, would not have won, or could have been less effective last year.
Less potent, yes.
I think there are other rules shakeups they can make that would have a smaller effect on Vintage than just let's restrict this card, let's unrestrict this card. There's other ways they can affect the meta, but they just don't care enough to figure out what those are.
They can't be bothered to figure out the errata. They want to use their banhammer instead.
Fair.
Well, but that's the one that affects the bottom line. It affects a lot of things. That's their tool.
And again, I don't think they really care about Vintage. So I think this is a moot point. It's a cow's opinion. Does not matter.
We're stupid to think they would ever care about Vintage, because Vintage players have all the cards they need to own. And if they need to get a 4 of Troll of Cool Tezzeret or whatever, they'll pay $7 a copy for these commons.
Yeah. Oh man.
Boxes,
I paid so much for those uncommon flip lands. Oh my god. I had to buy so many of them. We jumped around quite a bit. Let's bring it back around to Duane, your deck choice saga, because I want to finish that discussion. So you had a saga because of Saga.
Yeah, so last year I had this chip on my shoulder. I brought this deck to the finals and I lost, and I felt like it was my own fault, which is, it hurts, but also it's a little bit, there's a different feeling there. Like classic Vintage feeling of, oh, he ripped all his part, there's nothing I could do.
Right. Got vintaged versus like
I could have had it,
Right.
If I better, I could have had it.
Right.
But, so I came away with this chip on my shoulder, I'm like, okay, I need to recenter to get figured out before champs, and I'm going to go to champs, and smelting vat with some number of flesh rakers is going to do well at champs. So
and then KSI.
So then I go to the camp. I'm like, okay, before I really dig in here and start getting ready for champs in 2 or 3 months, I want to play a classic shop deck at my buddy's tournament because it'll be fun for variety. So I play some, crappy Stone Coil shop deck that gets beat up on by Luris and had a good time. But it was my last chance to play Saga, and I didn't maximize it because like the week after that.
Well, you didn't know it was your last chance to play Saga or Vexing Bobble.
Yeah. So then they restricted both of the cards, and it basically blew me out of the format. Those 2 cards made Smelting Vat so competitive, and along with the other devastation that they brought to the format, it felt like the Smelting Vat got kneecapped, and it just blew me out. I didn't even go to champs that year. I was so devastated. So I gave up on this deck archetype at that point because I was just so distraught at this restriction. And a bunch of the dudes on MTGO actually picked it up and figured out that Scrawling Crawler looks like an awful card. Like, it looks like an awful vintage card. There were multiple people, like up to the point where I played it against multiple people at the LAN. They looked at the card and they're like, wow, yeah, thanks for playing that card instead of something that killed me.
Like, thanks for time walking yourself. Yeah.
And then it deals like 12 damage to them, and it kills them, and they're like, oh, that card's good.
Over the next 3 turns, they take 12 and then die from attacks or something, right? Like,
they can't draw outs, and they just get beat to death. Anyway.
You're talking about Scrawling Crawler?
Yes.
Scrawling Crawler, Duane, remind us what it does.
So it's a 3-mana artifact creature. It's a construct. It's a 3/2, and it has an ability that says whenever your opponent draws a card, they lose one
card.
Any card. Not just non-draw step cards. All cards that they draw, they lose a life.
So just their normal draw step.
But it's also a Howling
Underworld
Mind.
Dreams. It's a Underworld Dreams plus a Howling Mind. Isn't it a Howling Mind too?
Yeah. During the owner of Scrawling Crawler's upkeep, both players draw a card. So
so this is like a Howling Mind, Underworld Dreams combo that costs 3 colorless mana.
Yeah,
and it's better because they don't draw when you pass.
Yes,
right.
They don't get their card until they don't get their Howling Mind until your upkeep.
Right. So unless it's an instant, that's really good. Like they're not getting a value, like as much value. Basically.
So that's pretty good.
It deals. They lose life just from drawing cards every turn, and then it beats for 3. So it's 5 damage every turn. And the big thing is it does not target, and it causes your opponent to lose life. So if you are time vaulting and they have 1 ring protection, it does not matter.
It does not matter. Yeah.
All it kills you through protection. So
that's a big deal.
So the MTGO guys figured out Crawler, and you that was like, yeah, Raker, cool.
Yeah, so they figured that out, and they put a good Raker shell together that was resilient to Null Rod, up to the point where I literally was running Null Rod in my sideboard of my workshop combo deck. So these guys on MTGO put a ton of time into this, particularly a guy, CRK, I believe he's an Australian gentleman. He's put so much time into this deck, and a few weeks before the land, I went to go check up on this and look the list over, and it looked real sweet. So
you're gonna invite CRK to the land? Is that what you're saying?
Good. Yeah, I don't know. I doubt he'll make it, but it would be appropriate. We stood on the shoulders of giants with this deck, and I didn't like, and put a couple smelting vats in it, and called it Raker Vat, and then it came to the TSI and did well.
Sick. All right. That's a great setup. Thank you for that, Duane. So you got set up. We got set up for the land. Angelo, I will talk for 1 second to say that Angelo did not know what to play. I said, dude, just play this Jewel deck that I'm going to play. I'm sending in cards to get printed. And Angelo's like, yeah, print me a deck. So I printed him a deck, which locked Angelo into the list. I then changed a couple cards after that. I never told you that part. I don't think. I think the deck I gave you, Angelo, had 3 Argentum Masticores. I went up to 4 in my deck.
Never even used one.
Oh, really? Okay. Argentum Masticore is really good. And at the land meta, if you never used one, then you got lucky or did really bad.
I played a lot of Lyris decks. I don't know. Was I supposed to use it against that?
No, probably not. I don't know. They don't have Null Rod, I don't think. So
I also played against Infects, so like.
All right. See, our meta is awesome. I didn't do the full write up yet, but I did preliminary write up. I started gathering some deck lists. I guess I failed to see Infect was in our meta, in our vintage meta. So Angelo, you were on Jewel, and I also played Jewel as I said there.
Yeah.
I went up to 4 Masticores. And did we? So we played in the Swiss. I blocked it out apparently.
You had a lot of stuff going on that day, so I don't blame you.
So I lost 2 matches in the Swiss, but I was live. Like I forgot who I lost to. So it was you. That's who I lost to. Besides Mono White, like my last loss was to Mono White.
Yeah, we played round 2, and I won in 2 games, and it was pretty brutal. But I had some really the deck. Like my skill isn't. I have a lot of workshop experience. My skill may be a little bit iffy, but the deck was on fire for me basically all day.
I remember. Okay, now I remember. You vatted and had to hit Mox key or something, and then you did, and then you won.
Yeah, that was game 1 where I smelting vatted and hit, and because of that, you didn't make your turn 2, and you weren't able to cast your Jewel. So I played something to chunk your Force of Will, and you had a Force of Will turn 2 Jewel hand, and you never made it to turn 2.
Yeah, because your bait spell. What was the bait spell? Mystic Forge.
Maybe it was Mystic Forge. It was some 4 mana.
It was a 4 mana spell, yeah. So I didn't think there was a follow-up. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, but like nothing really I can do there. Like I force the thing, and then you have another bomb, and then I lose.
The game 2 was brutal. I opened up on my turn 1. I had 6 mana. I cast a bait Null Rod, which you forced wisely, and then I followed it up with my last 4 non-workshop mana. I cast Karn, and it's just like, well, what do you do?
Karn, yeah, another Null Rod, yeah, and that was it. Yeah, so in those games, yeah, those were I literally couldn't do. There was nothing I could have done right in those games. I got vintaged, right? I countered your thing, then you had another bomb that I didn't have a counter for, and I lost, and that happened in both games. So definitely. You always feel better about those, right? Because obviously, I didn't remember it at all. The Mono White game, I felt like that, like my last match, my winning in. I went to game 3, so I felt like I had more agency at least, right? At least I won a game. Yeah. But in this match against you, it was literally I drew my 7, I played a land and a force in each game, and that was it.
I don't fault you on that call. You kept solid hands. What are you going to do? You're going to mulligan to turn 1 interaction and turn 1 kill? Yeah, just do that every game.
Yeah, of course, easy. Why didn't I do that, Duane? Jesus. So that was not meant as disrespect to you, Duane, to block that out. That was, like I said, talking through it. That's why I didn't remember it. It's because literally there was nothing I could have done in those.
Yeah, the deck performed really well for me all day, and that was emblematic of most of my matches.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, we played 5 rounds of Swiss, and I played through the 3 matches of the top 8. And through all 8 of those rounds, including my round loss, I only lost 4 games all day. The deck was really on fire.
Really vibing. That's where you want to be at. And so with this no changes announcement, I got to assume you're feeling pretty good that the deck you just won, I would say a major tournament. I know there's like the land run is coming up. Solly's going to that. I don't think any of other cohorts are going to this, but our tournament had 30 people at it. It's not an insignificant sized event. Good players still, right? Even if they only play Vintage a few times a year, everyone is a baller, I would say. I think we have a very high quality. And so I guess what I'm getting to in a roundabout way is you got to be feeling pretty good about your deck. Looking forward to Champs. Talk to us about that.
Oh, yeah. Champs is early this year, which is nice. 2 of the last 4 years, Champs has been on the same weekend as my girlfriend's birthday. There had to be some trade-offs made.
And negotiations, some credits used and bartered.
He's very, very tolerant. It's not like this was a big deal. This year, it's nice and early. We don't have to worry about that.
So October 9th through the 12th. So that's clear for you. You're saying you're ready to go?
Yeah, we're going to go, man. We're already got it figured out. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have 4 Tezzeret, and we're going to see how it shakes out on MTGO to see what the best shell is.
Here's a question that I have for you guys. So Eternal Weekend North America is the first event this year. In years past, it has been the last event out of the 3 Eternal Weekend paper events. There is over a month between Eternal Weekend North America and Eternal Weekend Europe. Potentially, we could have different vintage metagames, different formats for the different Eternal Weekends. That is crazy.
Yeah, I think in all likelihood, I think that's very likely. I don't know if they will pull the trigger on doing it, but
hard pause for a second. If you have enough money for Power 9 and you care enough about these tournaments, you also have enough money to go to Europe to play the meta that you wanted to play that you didn't get to play in North America, or vice versa. Like,
so yeah, do you guys want to go to Lucca, Italy, November 27th through the 30th?
It's in Lucca. I fucking love Lucca.
That's in it.
That's in Italy, yeah.
I was there for 2 months one summer.
Are we going to Italy, guys? Is this what we're saying?
Let's go to Lucca, man.
I could be open to that. We could figure that out. Like, the issue is, we've hit this period of our lives where, you've got, like you said, you've got the Power 9, like the money is less of the issue. Now it's about the time commitment. Like, can you commit for an international trip?
By the way, I learned recently that there are some countries in the EU that have a negative income tax for people between the ages of 32 and 50 because they're doing so much. You are doing the most. Here's some money. Good luck. Negative income tax. It's like the more you make, the more they pay you.
Really? I often have said that about myself, that I buy so much stuff. They should give me stuff back. But this is very interesting, and I think this is a real thing that could occur. And maybe this is just to appease us North Americans who complained so much last time, to give us a stable format for North America.
Has this ever happened before where the format changed between Asia and North America or Europe and North America? Or
I don't think there's been a schedule in the since COVID. I don't think the scheduled B&R has occurred between the Eternal Weekend events. I don't think has happened.
It's actually scheduled between them right now.
Correct.
Well, then they have to. They're gonna have to restrict Tezzeret.
We'll see. Maybe it'll bomb, and it turns out that mono white.
Maybe they'll ban Luris, but they'll restrict PO, Duane, and then you can go to Lucca and play a PO-less format.
For like 1 second, like what anti-Tezzeret tech is there? You've got the
needle.
Well, and you've got null.
Clarion Conqueror. Does it Clarion Conqueror hit Planeswalkers or no?
Oh wait, actually, that's a good question. I don't know.
It's creatures. It hits creatures. I know.
Is there something that counters colorless spells?
Yeah. There's the one that makes everyone sad. What's that card called, Duane?
The Clarion Conqueror does hit Planeswalkers.
It does. Okay, so Clarion Conqueror, but then the blue card that costs 1 blue that counters a colorless spell. What's that?
Ceremonious Rejection?
No, Sink into No, it's a Ben Hill as the artist. See, I only know cards by their artists. So let me go look.
Well, Ceremonious Rejection counters target colorless spell for 1 blue.
Yeah, but no, this card's better because it's consigned to memory. Consigned to memory. Because it has replicate for 1 colorless.
1 generic.
1 generic. And it counters a target triggered ability.
Oh,
so
wow.
you can counter Toss's Oracle. So it has really good dual application.
Or Oath of Druids. Or
an oath, you fade an oath for a turn, or even the get a guy trigger from the orchard.
So maybe they're counting on us to dig through some bulk boxes.
This is sort of what I'm saying when it comes to Tezzeret talk. Back in the day, you'd run 7 workshop hate codes.
Respect. Respect my authority.
If you want to beat Tezzeret shops, you can. You can run a bunch of circles. You can run the consign into memory. You can run energy flux. You can run if you're in green.
Energy flux, Duane. I'm gonna energy flux the shit out of you. Okay, Kevin's.
In my brain, we go back to the days of I don't want a sideboard against your deck. Let's just restrict it. And I think that's a BS argument, but we'll see how things pan out.
You have to restrict stuff from the workshop deck because we need 9 slots against Dredge, Duane. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have enough slots. As a blue deck, I don't have enough slots to battle Dredge and workshops. So, got to restrict cards from the workshop deck.
Absolutely.
Isn't that such though? So honestly, these blue players. All right, as it's getting later and I'm getting drunker, I'm talking more. So let's move on.
Yeah. Hey, here, let's go somewhere else.
Let's move on. We're gonna move on to talk about the food at the land. I planned to do Google Forms survey that I wanted to get responses on before we did this recording. I did not have the time because Angelo, as Angelo mentioned, he's going to be going out of town. Would rather get the recording done. Let's use this as a brainstorm to talk about what I'm going to put in the survey. Okay.
Can I just say something real quick?
Go, bro.
I just want to get out ahead of this. When I asked about the food Friday, and you're like, "Oh, it's going to be catered," my disappointment knew no bounds because there's something about going up to the truck, ordering food, not paying for it, going back and getting more even though you're not that hungry.
Yeah, the truck.
The psychology of that, right?
Yeah, the little kid in me, and I'm like, I'm at an adult sleepover. Mom can't tell me no. Like, there's a whole lot. So when you're like, yeah, it's catered, I was really bummed out.
You died a little. You died a little inside because you're like that kid. That kid was like, oh man, I was excited.
Okay, but then I was playing against. I can't remember who I was playing against. But I was like, let's get some food after our first game, and they're like, no, let's finish the match. I was like, no, I really want to get some food, and he's like, no, let's finish the match. I almost missed out on all the wings.
Oh man.
The ribs, like I missed out on some stuff.
The wings were on Saturday,
or whoever else playing Friday night, whatever.
Friday night, yeah.
But once I tasted,
there's no way you could have missed out on all the ribs. There was a lot of ribs.
Okay, whatever. We almost missed out. Maybe it was the brisket. It was something. It was something. But once I tasted it, I was like, "Yeah, this is great." I was blown away. The fact that it's catering is the best catering I ever had. It's the best. It wasn't
a standard band banquet food. It wasn't.
It was stupid.
Green beans and pasta and meatball tray. Like that's what you had. That's what you thought of when I said it's catered. You're like, I don't want a baked chicken and a meatball.
How good can it be? But it was better than anything I could have imagined.
What do you think about the food truck? Like, do you vibe with that food truck psychology, Duane? What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I love the food truck. You go up there and it's a mystery box. You go up there and you say, "Oh man, what do I get this time?" It's the same 4 options as last time, but you go up there. It's all new. So
right.
You pick whatever, you get it, and then maybe you're not hungry. You save it a little bit, and then you've got this little snack that you've got all to yourself. I'm super into the food truck. Not to hate on the catering, because the catering, I agree, the catering was really good. Those ribs were not pretty. Some of the catering wasn't pretty, but it was really good. Like they were deceptively.
Best ribs I ever had. Like so good. So meaty.
Wow. Dude, Angelo busting that out. All right. So I'm gonna give for our listeners, if you are in Northeast Ohio, Carmela and Sforza Catering out of Girard, Ohio. I thought this would make it okay for people because I was like, yeah, they did my brother-in-law's wedding. And still some people looked at me sideways. Like same Angelo. They were like, no, okay, but it's not a food truck. But it's not a food truck. I thank you guys for the feedback on the food truck psychology. I do agree, probably wouldn't do the catering again. I thought it was really good. It was really good.
Do that for lunch on Saturday or something then.
Like I said, yeah, I want to switch it up.
So
yeah. It was really good. And if they're still around, yes, I will try to utilize them again. So that's Friday night was the catering.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you guys about the overall, like the snacks. Like, what are the things that people actually want on the snack? I had some M&Ms, some cashews, some like cereal, some little chips and things. Like, what are the little side snacks that people actually like or want to see there? What did you guys eat?
I mean, can I go first again here?
Angelo, yes, you can.
I used to play a lot of Magic with my buddy Adam, who you met at my birthday thing.
Yes,
and Adam would play all his decks unsleeved, and he had the same decks from forever ago. But Adam would always have this problem where he was constantly getting mana screwed, well, either mana flooded or not. And Adam also was constantly snacking while playing Magic with me. He'd have a bag of Doritos, and and I watched one day as the Dorito dust built up on his fingers that he's tapping all his lands with those Dorito dust hands,
So they're sticking together.
And so after a game, I'll pick up his deck and I'm like, look at these lands. They have Dorito dust all over them because you touched them 80 times in a game. But that disenchant that you cast, you had it in your hand for 5 minutes and you cast it once. So like your lands are sticking together because of Dorito dust. And like he would argue with me for like this went on for years. Like he's like, there's no way. I don't just Dorito dust bomb. But I think
Versus Sculpini, like he's cutting himself to mana screw.
Well, and the point I'm making here is like I think most of us adult Magic players know, yeah, I can't eat Cheetos right now because I'm playing Magic. I'm not trying to ruin my decks / destroy my, like if I'm playing Ante, yes, I will crack open a bag of Cheetos and just go to town.
Just crumb it out, yeah.
Yeah, because you're about to get this card with a dick drawn on it, and I don't care.
With also Dorito crumbs, yeah. Just a little bonus. Biomatter. Yeah.
So I think, and the other thing is like we eat so good.
Yeah.
Between Friday dinner, Saturday breakfast, and Saturday dinner, I don't even eat Saturday lunch. I don't have room for snacks in between.
Okay.
My body physically no physical room for snacks.
No physical room for snacks. Okay.
Like the heart wants the snack, but the body, the viscera says no.
Fair.
I mostly agree. To me, the only part that really needs consideration, other than the amazing meal plans that have been put together in the past, in my brain, I'm not saying that there's a lack here. I'm saying that my main concern, I never have to worry about eating one of the meals because Rajah, your hospitality is incredible. Like when I go to the land is, I need to be able to recover.
Right.
So in the morning, I need something. So every time I come to the land, I bring a big Costco thing of croissants and I bring a big Costco thing of Gatorade. And then that's like my floor for recovery in the morning. I'll drink my Gatorade and I'll eat my croissant and I'll think about the mistakes that I made last night.
So you Gatorade and a croissant. So something maybe more focused. I'll cut to the breakfast is amazing. Like you mentioned, Angelo, your wife brought this awesome spread for breakfast. And I think everyone was able to get a good portion of that breakfast. But in addition to that, we need to look at more like recovery focused items, because not everyone recovers by eating sausage and bacon.
Bacon and coffee. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm glad he said Gatorade because I did not know he'd been bringing Gatorade. Otherwise, I'd be drinking that in the mornings.
We had a bag of Gatorade mix and Propel, and Evil Mailman brought a whole bag of electrolyte accessories. I should make that more clear to people that those are available.
Yeah, that should be right next to the coffee.
Yeah. That could be a minor improvement that we could make sure that people have.
And I think maybe also, being a pusher of that too. Being like, okay, this is the Duane time. We're gonna do a Duane time, everybody. Get your electrolyte drink.
Can we get like an oxygen bar and maybe like a saline IV going too?
Is that the drink we're gonna do next year, Duane? A Duane time when everyone wakes up?
Oh God. Yeah, it's just Gatorade. Here. Just drink this.
It's just everyone has to chug a Gatorade. Yeah.
No. Psych, it's Gatorade and vodka.
Psych. Angelo, did you specifically request your wife to make anything, or did you just say like, "Hey, can you do the same spread you did?"
If you remember how this originated like 5 years ago, that first year I came, I was a little upset. I was like, "There's no breakfast. Like there's croissants."
Right. It's a continental breakfast.
I need salted meats and coffee, or this isn't happening. And I did terrible. I think I was my worst land showing ever.
Yes.
I conned her into coming out last year, and then this year I was like, "Babe, you don't have to do that. I can pre-cook all the bacon, and we can come up with something not as hardcore." And she's like, "I kind of like doing it." I was like, "Okay."
Oh,
I want to. She likes being the hero.
So speaking of, so she brought that breakfast, and then I was like, I thought, hey, we should give her a thank you. And I didn't have a card. So I said, find a card and we'll all sign it. And you found the Talia Guardian of Thraben. And I wrote a word bubble on it, like, thanks. And then we all signed it. Did you give it to her? Did she end up getting it?
Yeah, I gave it to her. Actually, funny you mentioned that because she'll get mad at me for saying this. But today, she's like, "Can I throw this out?" And she like showed us.
Did you say like, okay, we'll take a picture of it at least? Like, yes,
No.
you don't have to like.
I was like, put it with your other magic cards.
Your other magic cards. What are the other magic?
She has 2 other magic cards. One of them's a Garbage Pail Kid. They hang on her mirror that she gets ready in the morning. One of them is one of them's Defy Gravity.
Wicked.
The set came out before Wicked, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Prophecy or something. It gives a creature flying. And then the other one's Gina Cleaner, the Garbage Pail Kid.
Garbage Pail Kid.
Yeah.
Is it artist signed Gina Cleaner?
I wish, no. But so I was like, just put Tina Guardian of Breakfast up there. Because I crossed out Talia and wrote Tina.
Tina Guardian of Breakfast. That's great. Yeah.
And she's like, okay, fine. But she likes it.
That's what I tell to my wife. Like, I have to go the other way. I'm like, can I throw this out? I'm going to take a picture of it. You can remember it by this picture that I took of it, but I'm going to throw it away. And then I lose. So, all right. So that was breakfast. Lunch. Angelo, you said you don't normally eat the lunch. It's like just sandwiches, sandwich spread. I think I try not to make that too heavy. The feedback I got from last year was that there was too many pork-based meats.
Yeah.
So I reduced the number of pork-based meats and got more turkey-based meats. And for myself on that sandwich bar, the thing that I make, which is shout out to Chad right here. Let's pause. Big ups to Chad, Chopper Chad, as I call him.
Chopper Chad.
He just looked like he was willing to do work. I just caught him not doing something. And then I was like, hey, can you help me? And he's a nice guy. And of course he said yes. I'm like, all right, dude, you got to chop vegetables. Now you got to chop fruit. And now you're done. But he chopped all the fruit and vegetables that were on that lunch was Chad.
Oh.
Chopper Chad, Frasier.
Chopper Chad.
But the main thing that I need sliced for that bar is avocado. We need an abundant amount of avocado.
I would suggest, if I may, if you're going to go through all the trouble, maybe just a salad bar.
I agree with the spirit of that. But the one interjection I want to make is that the sandwiches are essential for the spirit of Team Serious. Even though this year I heard anyone sandwich getting punched. So
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Duane,
All right, hold on.
wait. No, wait.
There is no escape from sandwich punch.
All right, one more time. One more time.
There is no escape from sandwich punch.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, but
Yeah, go ahead.
what I would say to that is, I agree with Duane. We need to have the sandwiches for that reason. But if we're not punching sandwiches, like what the are we doing? Next year,
I don't think that there was the sandwich not being punched was a result of people not trying to punch them. They're little slider sandwiches. I basically ate mine in 1 or 2 bites.
okay, so let's do better on the bread situation. A, B.
Get more punchable bread. Is that your free?
Punchable bread is the feedback.
I'm being dead serious right now. And then also put up a sign. I'll make the sign. I'll frame it that says, "Beware, unattended sandwiches will be punched."
Well, I mean,
and then just do it.
just do it.
And the signs at the bar. So like if someone like if M. Steve gets real belligerently mad about it, like, why the did you punch my sandwich? You just point to the sign. Don't let me tap the sign. And then what's he gonna do at that point? Make a new sandwich.
Well, this year we did have in attendance. Usually we don't because Nat's busy and he has a family and a bunch of other important adult stuff to do. But this year we had the sandwich punch rules adjudicator in attendance. So if there was a sandwich punch of legal questionability, we would have had the adjudicator to settle it for us.
And I will mention here in the swag bag, there was a sandwich punch sticker. I also want to mention in the swag bags, I don't know how well received it was, but I was excited about it. I was able to give away soap this year. And I want to say that I think this is probably the first time in any underground event that soap was in the swag bag, like a custom soap bar was part of the swag bag.
It's a nice that says the land on it.
Did you guys use your soap? Have you opened it? Do you smell it? Did you wash your bodies with it?
I mean, it's on the kitchen sink right now.
That's awesome. So what's wonderful. What flavor did you get, Angelo?
To my dismay, my wife opened up the cool water one.
Oh no! And that's the one that's sitting on
The sink. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to wash my. I also want to wash my body with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Duane? What flavor did you get?
So this is one of my embarrassments. I was so busy in the tournament on Saturday that I missed out on a whole bunch of stuff. It felt like between trying to make Castmaster happen, which was awesome, by the way. Thank you, Nat. I missed out on a bunch of this. So I just didn't pick up a swag bag.
I have them, Duane. I'm going to send you one. So we can get your address offline. I have them. That's ridiculous. You must have the soap. I need you to. This is not a kink, folks. This is just the fact that I love this soap. I've been using it for the last 3 years. My soap guy is out of Alliance, Ohio. I will put the link into the show notes. Pocket Rugs, Hanky Company. And yeah, it's just it's amazing soap.
Yeah,
that's a soundbite there. This is not a kink.
To clarify for any listeners, I do have soap that I wash myself with. So I'm not waiting bated breath for this soap to clean myself.
I am waiting with bated breath for Duane to wash himself. I'm not even going to say it.
He wants the review.
I just want the review, guys. I just want the review because I've been using it for several years. I love it. I'm not being paid for this review either, just to be clear. I'm not a paid sponsor of this soap.
Whatever you say.
I do want to say on that topic, I have very few regrets when I go to the LAN. That was one of them, is that it felt like I didn't have a whole lot of time to do the side events or the side stuff on Saturday because, I'm complaining about, winning the tournament.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. This is definitely a thing that happens when you win. and make the top 8. You don't get.
Well, we
get
were
to
talking
be
about
connected.
that the night of. It's like by design not fun to win this tournament.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff to do at the line. On Team Serious events in general, the magic is not the highlight. The friendship and the cool stuff and the enthusiasm for the format and its compatriots, like, is the real highlight of the land.
Right.
Winning, I don't get to hang out with the guys in the pool. I don't get to get in the hot tub. I don't get to hang out and help the gentleman grill. You miss out on a whole lot. And I felt that's like one of my big regret is I didn't give enough love to your dad and Uncle Dennis, who just gave us an amazing spread on Saturday. We had this
Yes.
chicken wing station with
Good transition. Yes, beautiful transition. Tell us, what did you think about the chicken? Like Dennis was just like, I've mastered my chicken wing process, and I want to make them for the boys. What do you think? I'm like, all right.
They're pretty good.
I said, yes. Tell me what to do, and it shall be done. So I thought they were good.
Chicken wings are my weakness, and they had a whole spread of official Buffalo Wild Wing sauces along to go with it, along with barbecue stuff, and it was just amazing. Along with the standard fare of they cooked the normal skewers. I shouldn't say normal, like the great.
It's just the normal skewers.
Oh, that's what I didn't get any of. I didn't get any steak this year.
Really?
It was all gone because Hazard was like, let's finish this game. I was like, bro.
That is what you were referring to. Okay, so I will say I did cut back the total amount of steak and shrimp because we were going to have the chicken wings, but I still got, it should have been about a half pound of steak per person. So if you didn't get any, Angelo, that means someone else ate closer to a pound of steak.
Somebody ate their body weight in steak, apparently.
The math from last year, which left me with too much leftovers, was a pound of steak almost per person, just under a pound of steak. Like, that was just insane amount. And I had too much leftover. So maybe I'll dial it into like 0.6 or something per person. And then the same for the shrimp. I always overestimate. And I think we cashed out both. We cashed out all the meats Saturday night.
But there was scrimps left way past the time of steak. Like because I'm not.
Yes. There was 0 left this year. Like we cashed it. And the cash, like I feel like was around 10 or so when the last of everything was gone from the dinner.
Yeah, and that's a good situation to be in. I'm not gonna.
That's where I want to be at. That right. That's where I want to be at. Everyone should be full, and that's where the snacks kick in too. If you really need. Oh, because I will say that the one snack that was the most eaten that I will provide again was the little meat bags. They was just little beef jerky packets. Those are very popular. In the past, I had gotten the beef jerky sticks, and no one ate those. But the little bags of jerky, like the individual bags of jerky, I might double up on those next year.
Hold on, slow down though, because I must confess that I rolled up to the land and I did not eat lunch before I got there. So my lunch was 3 bags of that. The beef bits. So that might affect your count a little bit.
Okay, fair. Well, it was Uncle Dennis's birthday weekend, and I did gift him the land soaps. And when I gave them to him, when we gave him the birthday cake, it was dark and he didn't really see it. When he came back the next day, he was like, "Raj, that soap says the land, and it's got a barn on it."
Yes, it does.
He was very touched because he was just like, "Oh, I got a lot of smelly soaps." And then he opened one when he was at home the next morning in the light of day, and he realized what it was. So,
and I got to say this about Uncle Dennis with his wings. You know, he had all those sauces, Duane, and you saw the sauce lineup. I watched the man sauce those wings.
Yeah, there was a mixture. It wasn't homogenous.
You were eating like 4 different wing sauces combined when he got around to put it together. I mean, it was
The
And, like,
teriyaki was not just teriyaki, but it was mainly teriyaki. But there was some splashes of other things than
Yeah,
that
I
too.
wasn't trying to ruin anybody else's experience, but I was like, oh, this is crazy. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's his style. That's his style. It's a special Uncle Dennis blend. He's not
We're gonna call
gonna.
that wild style.
Yeah, he's not. He's not just gonna dump the bottle straight out on there. That's
Stir it up a little
Well,
bit.
he did, but he didn't. Like, he just added it to the bucket that was already
yes.
Asian whatever's in the bucket, and I was like, hey,
Mhm.
what those Louisiana liquors? He's like, oh, you want some? So he puts a bunch of wings in the bucket, dumps the liquors on top, shook it real good. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Oh,
That's
It's
how it
fine.
goes, baby. That's how it goes. Just it's on layers. It's layers on layers.
I loved it.
All right. I always welcome feedback on the food, and so I am going to put that in the survey. I am looking at the dates for next year, and it seems like it'll be the second weekend of June or so, but I may have a question on that in the survey.
catering was top notch.
So catering, thank you for that feedback. And again, like I mentioned before, I will try to use them. I'm going to try to get a strange food truck for next year, one we haven't got before, basically. Because I definitely agree with the food truck kid mentality. Like, it's like you're running a tab and like, oh, I can order whatever I want. That's cool, right? So definitely agree with that. All right. Let us now go into one of the main reasons people tune into this show is this segment. Many people only listen to this segment, Duane. It is called the Swag Corner.
Oh, this one.
One black face mask, one black cap, striped jersey, and a bag mark swag.
Seriously, I've never seen anything like it before in my life.
Angelo, what is the Swag Corner?
As introduced, we play a lot of Magic. You play a lot of games. The games are the games, but every once in a while you walk away from a game and you're like, man, that guy's deck. He spent a lot of time tracking down those foils or those proxies he printed out. Where did he get those graphics? Whatever it was to make that person's deck just really stand out to you. Not necessarily the card choices themselves, just something that elevated the game to the next level. Which I'm going to be honest with you, Rajah, at the land is hard. Because most of us are just, yeah, here's this proxy deck I printed up.
Here's my printed deck, baby. Here's my printed deck. Well, then take it outside of Magic. What else do you use swag?
But I think it's okay. Like at the land, Alan rolled up and he's just like putting paper in sleeves, like no cards.
Well, you could go to the prize table if you want. You could say who put in the most swag prize that you saw was the most swag prize.
It's Duane's question. Duane, what did you see that you took home with you that just like that was crazy?
There were some pretty cool prizes this year. I'm sort of an art guy at this point because I'm not big on a lot of product. At the TSIs, it's all. Anyone that's listening here, the basic overviews, everyone just puts in a prize. It's just the potluck prize, basically. Like everyone puts in their prize, and then you're understanding it become. So it's really tough being at the top of the list when there are so many cool prizes that so many different people have put so much thought into. And this year, there were a lot of cool prizes. I think the one that ended up being the first pick was a cool little Lego set. It was a blue shell for first place, which was really funny to me. But
yeah, that was fun.
I'm sad to say that my pick for the prize was more out of practicality than it was out of swag. Nam Tran is one of my good buddies on our team, a good friend of ours, and he always puts in a nice prize. He's a real generous guy, and he put in a binder that had a bunch of stock ups in it and a bunch of Palingate of Maraudis, which I don't have because my local shop won't stock them because it's a one of in a Commander product. Like it's just
right.
so esoteric. So
anyway, it's the card you needed. You're like, oh, I need that card.
I literally had to borrow one from Nam to put in my deck.
So you felt like you're like, this is put in the pool for me. I'm going to take it.
Yes. So I took it. Like, it's really funny to me because I don't care about stock up. I will never play that card. But I do need a new binder for the workstation because my binders are exploding. So
let's pause. Let's pause there, Duane.
Random cards that cost colored mana, useless to me.
There you go. So stock up. You didn't need those stock ups.
No, I sold them for $20 to one of the other guys in the top 8.
Bam. Did it.
On the swag corner, though, I think my best answer for like the swag, my favorite swag of the weekend was Eric Caffrey, the gentleman who beat me last year to take it all down. He brought a booster box of mystery boosters.
Oh, yes, yes.
And we did a mystery booster draft at like 1 a.m. on Friday. And his stipulation was one, it's a phantom draft, so they're all his cards. So we're just looking at all these cool cards. And two, he set it up so that we never actually played any games of Magic. His stipulation was we were all going to draft, we were all going to put together our decks, and then we were just going to put all of our decks out in front of us, and then everyone was just going to look at the decks. And then we're going to decide who would have won if we had played.
Wait, whose mystery boost box was that?
This is Caffrey's.
Oh, okay. So he brought that, yeah.
This is Caffrey's. So this was Draft Super Fight, which all of us participated in, if I recall. And Angelo triumphs in the Draft Super Fight that we did.
There was no argument. There was literally no 7 cards I could have drawn that weren't going to win me a game.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win Draft Super Fight. That kind of confidence is how you win Draft Super Fight.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a useless card in my deck. I mean, it was super hot fire, dude. I mean,
But to you, Duane, Eric busting that box and not only saying, "Hey, play with my cards," but don't play with my cards. That was swag to you.
Yeah,
just don't waste your time.
We're gonna do the fun part of the draft, and we're gonna skip the part that 80% of the people just don't want to do. So
I love it. I love that you brought that in because we would have done this whole cast and then we would have ended it and I would have been like, we should have talked about Draft Super Fight. Why didn't we talk about Draft Super Fight?
No, we were gonna talk about Draft Super Fight because it's just another page in the long history of my draft dominance.
Angelo just calling shots left and right. I will say, I mean, if you go back, check the record. I lost to Angelo in the finals of the last mystery booster draft.
The only time I lost was last
Beastmaster's Ascension or something. It was dumb.
And it was to myself against Andrew Webb, who was trying to win at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning. And I was like, look, I should have attacked you the last 3 turns. And he's like, well, you can do it next turn. And every turn I forget.
Classic Team Serious Invitational like late night Magic. Just like
floppy as
do it next turn.
Yeah, but like there's guys who take advantage of that, Jimmy. And there's guys who are like
okay, minus 6. Yeah, you attacked me for the last 3 turns. Okay, minus
like
6.
You go past and they're like, are you sure you don't want to attack first and like end this game? You know, stuff like that. So
are you sure you don't want to win with your attack on board?
Like you could just attack for lethal, but if you want to pass, I'll let you.
Right. So Angelo, are you saying that the most swag thing to do invitational is tell your opponent to kill you, or what is your swag corner nomination?
I mean, I have anti-swag nomination.
Okay, do it because like you said, it's difficult at the land to have a swag nomination. You can anti-swag someone who.
So like after midnight, if your opponent is messing up and you're not helping them, you're a dick.
Fair. Okay.
If some of my after midnight opponents have been like, "Hey, bro, you should attack," or "Hey, bro, are you sure you want to win this turn instead of next turn?" That would have been pretty swag of Jimmy. But since he made me play an extra 3 turns in that draft just so he could try to top deck this one out to me winning, because that happened on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the opposite of swag. But I do appreciate the ultimate draft battle. What do we call it? What's the final name for it?
I thought Eric was calling it Draft Super Fight.
Sure. That I think that is actually a good format. I was mildly against it at first, but like you got hockey on board. It's a good format.
If you can convince, like he kind of on everything, right? And but by the end of it, he was like, okay, yeah, okay. And then he couldn't beat your deck, and he still was okay with it. So I feel like that was a win. I would just like to formalize the rules slightly of Draft Super Fight in terms of who votes on what decks.
Mhm.
And for next year, perhaps make it a more official side event, like a 16-man Draft Super Fight, and put it up on the screen.
Unlike a regular draft, which takes 4 hours, because you're not actually playing all these matches, you could probably churn through these pretty quick.
So that's what I'm saying. If you do a 16-man, right? And so the longest thing of it is basically going around and taking the pictures of the decks and then just setting up the matches on the screen, right? So like you could do a 16-man and then I would just set up all the things and then we formalize the rules of voting. Because my idea is basically if you're in the top of the bracket, you vote on the bottom part of the bracket. If you're in the bottom, you know what I'm saying? So then it's not directly that you're voting against the people you're going to face until the finals, kind of.
Collective input will be less.
And then after round 1, you have 8 people who were knocked out. Those are the people only that vote then, right?
Yeah.
So if you were knocked or you have crowd participation and maybe those are half votes.
I disagree with that because the people who get knocked out are bad at drafting.
So they should be half votes.
Oh,
so
man.
they're gonna look at those decks and be like, like
wait, how are they gonna be like, Angelo? Fair. All right, so Draft Super Fight. I will stay out of formalizing the rules for Draft Super Fight. I feel like just saying like, okay, who wins this match, and just doing a applause-o-meter is fine because that's more fun anyway. So
the reality of it is like you could draft a terrible deck, but if you know the format, possible combat tricks there are, and counter spells and like you can win games.
I feel like in that format though, it is difficult to be the combat tricks deck and argue that you will win. That is why I liked Draft Super Fight, because I drafted a bad combo deck and almost won my match.
Yeah, no. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like bad drafters shouldn't be voting.
You're salty because my deck is the only deck that could have beat yours in that draft, and I lost round 1.
According to you, we're not going to get into draft theory here, but a 4/4 for 4 mana is a great card in draft. If you're trying to omniscience combo off, that's not going to happen. But also, you want to swing for the fences, so you try to walk both lines, try to have a curve, but also you try to have those nut scenarios.
Can you, Angelo, to take us out of this segment, can you do a WWE style announcer saying of Draft Super Fight?
Like I'm the guy announcing it?
Yeah, you're the announcer. Can you do that for me?
What year is it?
1997.
I'm saying like what's the event I'm announcing?
The Draft Super Fight. Like make up what I don't know. Just this is our segment when we're going to talk about Draft Super Fight. I'm just for the soundboard. I was going to say like Draft Super Fight. Ding ding ding. Draft Super Fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Draft Super Fight? There will be no slinging of cardboard, just discussion of cardboard. Saturday night. Get it done in 1 hour.
That's perfect. Perfect. Duane, I've taken us completely off the rails, but we are in the segment Swag Corner.
Yeah.
Angelo, you provided us your anti-swag. I will say the swaggiest thing for me was not the card playing, but the share table. I didn't ask anyone this year to bring snacks or extra stuff or anything, but a lot of people just rolled up and were like, where do I put this? And I thought that was awesome. Again, I'm not asking anyone to do that, but it was basically stuff that people liked. It was great. It was basically like I really like these breadsticks. Mike O'Malley. It's like, I love these breadsticks. It makes you like a wizard. You eat it. And it's a wand. And like he just wanted to share that with people. So I thought that is the spirit of my event, really. And so I thought that was super swag of everyone who decided.
That was hockey, and he ate by more than half those, for the record.
Hockey brought those? I thought Mike brought those.
No, hockey brought those.
There you go. That's even better, right? Like, so, okay. So, yeah, just people brought stuff that they enjoyed and wanted to share with others. And I thought that was super swag.
Yeah, brother.
I do want to say shout out to Shaman Ben. Shaman Ben came with his brother Andrew, and the first time out at the land, he decided that for the vintage event, he was going to act as an observer. And I would tell all of our listeners to look out for a potential article on the MTG Underground, his blog site, where he hopefully will publish a very Shaman Ben report about the event, TSI The Land 6 Vintage.
I wonder if anyone has told him that I won, because he left before the tournament ended, and he was telling me how much he loved my deck. So I'm really curious if anyone told him.
So I will poke him as I'm editing this just to see, and well, I guess I'll hit refresh on MTG Underground to see if he has published his article. But yeah, so shout out to Shaman Ben for coming out, man. Thank you for coming. Andrew, thank you for coming, playing the vintage and the middle school. And he borrowed a deck for both events. I think he was top 4 or top 5 for, maybe he was second even for middle school. He played the 10 land Stompy deck and kept beating people. It was really cool.
Yeah, he was good at that.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. Thanks for coming out. Mike Solomasi also coming out for the first time. That was really cool. He brought his Vivi deck, which we did not talk about, and perhaps we will have to talk about after he goes to the land run. Who knows?
You know what else we didn't talk about?
What did we talk about?
I played 5 rounds of vintage, and I won every game one I played.
Wow.
That's pretty good. So you won 5 games and you lost 10 games? Is that what you're telling us?
I was 7-7.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Game match wise, I won all my game ones, and then I won a couple game twos.
Sick. I wanted to mention one thing which I remembered, which was, Duane, you mentioned about how you snagged Nom's prize out of the prize pool. And I did want to mention about the prize that I took, which was a flask that was full. It had some sort of whiskey in it. I'm not sure. I definitely nipped it. I couldn't take too much of it, but it was strong. It was good. And then I got a bunch of foreign packs that were, and this was from Mike Clements, I believe. And I have not cracked those packs. But I want to also mention that I was able to take my prize from HSI that was from Nom, and I was able to barter that with Mike Solomasi for a high-end altar that was, I think, probably the best prize in the prize pool. Artist altar of Bargain, Foil Bargain by Michael Sutphin. And so I was able to trade that plus some Japanese cards to Mike, which I just shipped off to him for that foil bargain.
There you go.
That's honestly one of the best parts of the TSIs is that you show up and there are so many different kinds of prizes. Usually it shakes out that everyone, like the way it works is the top 8 manages to pick, like there's a general consensus of the best 3 prizes. But prizes 4 to 15 are basically all on the same level based on what you love, which I think is really cool.
Exactly. Oh, speaking of that though, too, I do want to mention about the lands. I don't know if you guys saw those.
I saw them.
So I will have the original arts out there next year for viewing. I had to varnish them or seal them. They will be sealed. Have them in frames, and everyone can look at them. I'm gonna hold on to them for at least a few years. I like the idea of having basic lands that I could have in like a cube, and then I could be like, I own that art. Right?
Oh, so that would have been a good answer for the swag corner because my round one opponent was the guy who painted my prize from last.
Yeah, you played Mitch round one.
Forgot that would have been a good answer because I got to tell him like, his painting's great. It's hanging up in my house, and then I bashed his face in.
He's facing. Yeah.
I mean, in defense, he did take a game off me. So
all right.
One of my 2 non-match game losses was in round 1. And the other one was
really okay. That's pretty cool. Did he end up playing that red deck? He said he was playing the red deck. He's basically playing Eric's deck from last year, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious. I kind of want to go look at his list. I'm putting together a report for it. I don't know where I'm going to post it. Maybe it just goes into the Death Star. But he was playing a red deck. Game 1, I cast an automaton and a lodestone golem on turn 1. So he's looking at 9 power, and he just instantly concedes.
Yeah.
And then he gets me back game 2 by forcing for X = 4 and just blowing away.
Ooh, okay.
So
yeah, probably a big red deck. That sounds pretty cool, though. That sounds pretty cool. Duane, you can publish your report on our teamserio.us, Team Serious web, where Nat published his Castmaster report, if you would like to.
Okay.
Angelo, I cut you off there, so I will say, what do you want to wrap up with, or what didn't we talk about that we need to finish talking about?
Overall things, just in general. Food was a little different, but it still was fantastic. It felt like a return to roots because we didn't have all the Texas guys roll up, and so there was like a little bit more of a friendly element. The meta was a little more wacky because of that, I think.
A little more classic Team Serious meta game.
Yeah.
Sure.
More mud. I mean, the top 8: 2 Dredge, 1 Oath, 1 Luris, and 2 Workshop decks, right?
Okay, the number of what D-list celebrities we had Shaman Ben, we had Mitch, the guy that drew the art. Clements made it out, the father of FE40.
Yes.
The brass man, Jimmy, the classic heel.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we didn't talk very much about Castmaster.
Yeah, Castmaster.
Season 2. This was season 2, and I mean, from what I saw of it, it was better.
It was
not
better.
In different ways. It's improved. It leveled up.
I gotta say this. I was disappointed. I hope Nat hears this part. Nat, fast forward to whatever minute of the podcast this is. He teased a bag of gray meat and was like, this year's Taskmaster is going to be a lot of food-based tasks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put anything in my mouth.
There's no gray meat, and you were disappointed about that.
I'm just saying, I'm shameless. I will eat it. I will chew it. I will try to figure out what it's made of. I will play your game, Nat. And he was so fearful of people's squeamishness. Like, you know what? I don't care if Jake Hilty doesn't eat pork. Can put the gray meat on the plate. And if he can't,
find the
he can't eat it, then
read the disclaimer.
Yeah, figure out what it is with your dietary restrictions, homeboy. Like, it's not my problem.
Okay, well, here, let me just put your mind at ease. Nat does not listen to this, so he will not hear anything that you suggested.
Well, then clip that and send it.
Well, we'll have to do that, I guess. We'll make that into a soundbite. Angelo, final thoughts on the land, part 6.
I'm undefeated in drafts. I will put an asterisk next to my concession to Andrew Webb last year. And Jimmy thought he was going to take that from me with a top deck, and I just smiled and passed the turn knowingly. I knew what I was doing. That's my final thought. Jimmy, suck it.
Wow. Okay. We got to finish these recordings earlier. Duane, final thoughts on the land 6.
Final thoughts. The land is amazing as usual. Rajah, you and your family never disappoint. The land 6 was the best land. Somehow it gets better every year. And Raker and colorless combo is the real deal.
Thank you, Duane, for those final thoughts. Thank you, Angelo, for those final thoughts. Land 6, I want to just give a blanket shout out to everyone who decided to be able to show up. I want to give a shout out to anyone who didn't show up but sent me money for the philanthropy. I thank you very much. I will be making a donation of over $800 to Second Harvest Food Bank in Youngstown on behalf of Dr. T.P. Sirius. The Land 6, I called it Back to Basics because I was getting these lands commissioned for it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get basic lands made of the land. And I thought that was fun and clever. I did not do much with the theme beyond that, but
Good enough. My real closing thoughts, aside from being undefeated, this year felt like people are starting to get to know each other. Uncle Dennis knew names, and he was happy to see people. There wasn't a single person there that I had to like, so where are you from? What do you do? You know what I mean? And maybe it's just because I've been there so many years. It's becoming a thing, man. It's cool. It's a time to reconnect. I can't wait to see what so-and-so's up to. Like, I'm excited to hear about how JR's pool business is going. I'm excited to hear what's happening with the USPS and Mailman Bob. You know, I look forward to catching up with folks at this point, which is, it's a vibe shift.
I'm happy to hear you say that because in talking with my family, it's basically, hey, we're going to keep doing this till we can't do this. So picking out the date, trying to figure out when we're going to do it again, and keep vibing. Well, you've done it again. You've wasted a perfectly good 2 hours on Full Warning, a Team Serious podcast. My name is Rajah James.
I'm BC Drew.
And Duane Haddix.
And we'll talk to you next time on Full Warning.
Precise danger, shaky grounds. We ain't going out without a bang. Initial reaction, scope and reaction. No hesitation. To send all my men to their battle station. Precise danger, shaky grounds. We ain't going out without a bang. Initial reaction, scope and reaction. No hesitation. To send all my men to their battle station. Precise danger, shaky grounds. We ain't going out without a bang. Initial reaction, scope and reaction. No hesitation. To send all my men to their battle station. Precise danger, shaky grounds. We ain't going out without a bang. Initial reaction, scope and reaction. No hesitation. To send all my men to their battle station.
Listen, guys, I have to in real life. I'm not going to put that in the podcast, but I might.